Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coaster News. And this is actually the final episode of Coaster News in February 2022. And so obviously this is the last one of the month, so let's get straight into the news. And there's actually, obviously as always, very interesting news related to theme parks, rides and attractions across the world. So let's get straight into it. Our top story for tonight: Walt Disney World has announced that Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind will open during the Memorial Day weekend in 2022. And this is exciting news for EPCOT. In fact, I'm not even sure they actually officially announced it. I think it was leaked by one of the people who work at Disney, like one of the major corporate higher-ups at Disney. I think that's what I've heard anyway. So it was kind of leaked by someone at Disney, and obviously the Memorial Day weekend, that's like in May time. So obviously in probably just about 2 months, just over 2 months, for the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind to open at Walt Disney World in Florida. And this is very exciting news, obviously, because obviously this ride has been under construction for the past 5 years, I think. Yeah, 5 years. They started it then, well, at least they announced it that long ago. They announced it back in 2017. It was that long ago they started building it. It was originally slated to open in 2021, but obviously, because of COVID, all Disney's construction projects have been delayed, which is why EPCOT currently just looks like a massive construction site. Yeah, I'm not even joking. It's pretty much the entire main centre area of EPCOT is just been completely demolished. It's kind of a mess. And they still haven't lowered the prices for entry. But obviously in the long run it'll be good for them because it's part of a massive overhaul that they're doing over the next few years. And obviously the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is part of that. Because the actual ride itself, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is a Vekoma launched spinning coaster, and it's going, well, it's sort of mostly, the queue line for it is actually going in the former Ellen's Energy Adventure ride, which was like this little dark ride that they had in the Future World area, which obviously that area has just been split off into 3 sections. So it's not called Future World anymore. It's called it's got 3 areas. It's called World Celebration, World's Discovery, and World Nature. And I think Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is in World Celebration. And so basically that whole dark ride has been closed, and the queue line for the ride is going in pretty much in that entire building. Whereas the rest of the actual coaster itself is going in a separate building behind it with a look, and they said it's actually going to feature the world's first backwards launch on a roller coaster. I think that's what it said anyway. So it sounds very exciting, and also from what I've heard, it's going to be the most expensive coaster in the world. Literally, when they built Expedition Everest, that was the most expensive roller coaster in the world. That cost like $100 million to build. But then a few years ago, Universal beat them by building Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. That is a long name. And that cost Universal $300 million to build. So from what I've heard, the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster is going to be that Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure. It's going to be something more expensive than that. And it sounds very exciting. It's the first sort of launched spinning coaster that I think Vekoma have done. They actually used that technology on one of their family Vekoma Boomerang coasters a few years ago for the Guardians coaster. And it's also going to have onboard audio playing loads of different music, which is going to be amazing because I actually experienced onboard audio when I went on Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios. That was incredible. And they say it's going to be like a storytelling coaster. So it's going to be a very immersive ride. It's all going to be like indoors. It's not going to have any sort of inversions, but it's going to have a lot of airtime hills and turns and very immersive theming. It's going to make you look like you're travelling through space. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's opening on the Memorial Day weekend this year. In other news today, Thorpe Park have altered the plans for Project Exodus, and it might not be a major alteration of the plans, but it could be, who knows. But basically what they've done, they've expanded the area where the ride is going to be located. So basically On your screen now, they'll show some plans of a kind of like in the red outline area shows where the ride's going to be built, and these are the new plans that are showing on screen right now. And there's a pointy bit towards like the top right that wasn't there before, and they've kind of expanded on that area. So I'm not sure what it's for. It could be for like more support structures, because that's literally where the overbanked inversion section is located, around that area. Or it could be for like slightly different rides than they originally planned, because obviously when they announced it, they said that it wasn't a final layout, it was just like a rough draft design. Even though the layout itself is incredible, like nothing we've ever seen before. Literally, it's just so incredible. It could be just for like extra support and concrete foundation room for the ride, or it could be like some new track elements, because a lot of people have said that the ride is quite short. I personally think it's quite a decent length. I mean, it's similar sort of length to the likes of Nemesis or Alton Towers and things like that. So I don't really have a problem with the length of it. Although some people are saying that it could be longer than it is, because it's the first coaster that Thorpe Park have got in over 10 years, and they're thinking it could be a little bit longer. But who knows? I mean, it's not the biggest area to expand on, but it looks like, I mean, it could be literally for anything. I mean, that whole area, they could fit like another sort of element in it. I don't know if they build like another Immelman or dive drop in that area, because they've already got that on the ride. So maybe they might build some kind of airtime hill or in that area. I don't know what they could do. But whatever they're doing, it could be anything. It could be, like I've already said, just for concrete foundations. Or they might even make it a little bit taller, and they might just need that for extra room. I don't know. It could be anything, who knows. Also in the news today, the Expedition Everest refurbishment at Disney's Animal Kingdom has been extended until May. And basically, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Expedition a few weeks ago, I think it was like start of the year, I think it were, Disney World announced that Expedition Everest was going to be closed for a 2-month refurbishment, and everyone was hoping they were going to fix the broken Yeti in the ride, but they said that that's not included, which is really sad. So I'm not sure what they're really fixing. This could be like, well, it's not really basic maintenance, because this is going to be closed for 2 months. But recently they've announced that they've extended that closure until May. It was originally supposed to be closed until like April, I think. Well, March it was, but they've extended it by a month or two. So it must be some big refurbishment that they're doing, because if it's just like basic maintenance, they could do it in like a day, simple as that. But I'm not really sure what they're doing, unless they are now planning to fix the Yeti. Or no, because I think if they were fixing the Yeti, probably would have announced it by now and probably extended it until probably July or something. I don't know, because obviously to fix the Yeti would be a lot of work for them. They literally have to pretty much just demolish and reconstruct the entire concrete foundations of the actual mountain that the ride sits on, just to fix this one Yeti. Because obviously when it was working, when the Yeti animatronic was actually operational when the ride first opened, it was kind of fracturing the concrete structures that it stood on, and they've just left it non-operational with some strobe lights ever since, and obviously it's become the famous Disco Yeti. And it's absolutely just weird, and there's been a lot of rumours over the years as to whether they're going to fix it. But obviously this new refurbishment, they've said they're not going to fix the Yeti, because it's kind of pointless to fix something like that when you only see it for like 2 seconds on the ride. So, and especially it would be very expensive, and obviously it would basically just mean just demolishing and reconstructing the whole ride over again. So I'm not sure what this extended refurbishment length is for, but it's probably for something. They must be doing something big on it. I'm not sure what they're doing if they're not fixing the Yeti though. But we'll just have to wait and see. And finally in the news today, Fantasy Island has announced that The Guardian will open on the 19th of March 2022. And this is very exciting news, because we've been waiting for this news from Fantasy Island for a long time. It's basically, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically back at the start of like 2020, I think it was. This might just be completely unrelated to The Guardian, or it could be, I'm not sure what's going on, but basically they announced a new ride called Turbulence, which was like a, I'm not sure what it was, but it was like Samurai at Thorpe Park, but mixed with a KMG afterburner, so it like completely went upside down while spinning. And they announced it was going to open in March 2020, but obviously COVID happens, lockdown, everywhere had to close. And so since then, what's happened with Turbulence, I'm not even sure, but after that they announced that they were adding a new ride in 2021 called The Guardian, but no one knows what that is. They don't know if it's Turbulence but just relocated into the Pyramid Building and rethemed, or if it's a completely new ride. There's actually rumours going about that it might be a robot arm ride, where it's basically like literally just a robot arm with riders sat on it and it just swings around everywhere. But don't know what it is. That's the top rumour. Obviously we know it's going to be like themed to some sort of dragon, as they've shown in the recent teasers for it. But from what they've done with the theming, it's very quite gone to big lengths for Fantasyland, because they looks like they've added a lot of theming into it. So I'm kind of really excited for it. I don't know what it's going to be, but they're opening 3 new rides this year. They're opening The Guardian, they're also opening a new dark ride called Harrington Flint's Island Adventures, which I think it's going to be a dark ride. It might be like a virtual reality experience thing, I don't know. And they're also opening a new water ride, or at least refurbishing a new water ride. I think that's what they're doing anyway. But it sounds really exciting for Fantasy Island this year, and obviously the Island Adventures ride, the dark ride, was announced obviously in late 2020. I'm not sure what's gone on for that, but it's a similar situation with probably like The Guardian. But at least we now know that that's opening on the 19th of March 2022. I can't wait for it. Like I say, it's rumoured to be like a robot arm ride. I don't think it would be Turbulence, because that's quite a tall ride when it's going all the way upside down. It's actually, because that Turbulence ride actually used to operate at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. It's basically, that's obviously gone now. It's basically where Icon's Top Hat and turnaround section next to and Heartline Roll near the big one's lift hill is now. But obviously they've relocated it to Fantasy Island. Where it is, I don't know. I'm not sure if they've transformed it into The Guardian or if it's just gone somewhere else. I honestly don't know, but we'll just have to wait and see on the 19th of March, which is just over 3 weeks from now. So that is it for this week's episode of Coaster News. I hope you really enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. We'll like to see you in the next video. Bye!